Hello, my fellow modeling and tabletop gaming enthusiasts, and welcome to the Mediocre Modeler Show. This episode is going to kick off the first in a series of a new build vlog, as you probably guessed by the title. So this is going to be the first part where we're going to do kind of a review of the project, and that project is going to be based around the wonderful Warlord M4 Sherman medium tank that does in fact have all the correct number of rivets that it should. Inside joke. And we're going to take this Sherman and we're going to make it appropriate for Marines in the Pacific. It's going to be a combination of a little bit of scratch building as well as a little bit of aftermarket stuff from Company B models, obviously based around the excellent Warlord Games M4 Sherman medium tank kit. So we'll talk a little bit more about what those exact modifications are going to be. So this video is kind of going to be a hybrid, sort of, but it's going to be, an out-of-box review based around the M4 Sherman. And then also I want to detail what it is exactly I want to do to the tank to make it more appropriate for the Marines in the Pacific. It should be pretty interesting. I don't know how many parts this is going to take. Obviously, we're going to have the intro and the first. Yeah, this will be the intro and sort of the layout of the plan. And we'll do a building video and a painting video because we're going to paint it a little different than I would a U.S. Army in Europe Sherman. So that should be pretty interesting. So without any further ado, let's head on down, see what comes in the kit, and see what else I've got planned for this. All right, as always, starting out with our wonderful cardboard boxes for our M4 Sherman, giving us the basic information, our 156 scale tank, our stat card, decal sheet, construction leaflet, and damage markers. And I've taken everything out of the box already, but we'll just go ahead and take a look. So a couple of different examples of some painted models, a little bit more details, and some pictures of what all is included in the box. Collaboration between Italeri and Warlord Games. Italeri, good company. All right, so I'm sure many of you have probably built this already, the standard M4. I had to take the upper hull off the sprue already, and we'll take a look at why here in a little bit. So yeah, just two sprues. We've got the upper hull and the lower hull, as well as the track sections. I love that they molded the droop or the sag into the treads. I think that's pretty, I like that they're also just two pieces and not like Lincoln length. There's also the shields for the front compartments. So after some research, when I built my first one, my Tesla Sherman that I got in my Conflict 47 starter box, I was able to determine that this is an M4A3. It is the small hatch variant, but it is still an M4A3. You can tell because it's got the welded hull. The cast hull was more rounded. It didn't have this sharp angle. The only examples I have of an early M4A1 are Flames of War 15 millimeter scale. So yeah, lots of nice detail molded on, all the pioneering tools, cables and everything. I mean, wouldn't be difficult to replace those, but I probably won't bother with it. It's just easy enough. A little bit of seam lines to clean up, but that's actually going to be mostly hidden. And when I say mostly, I mean like entirely hidden. So then there's the rest of that sprue. And then we've got all of our other stuff here. I like the way that they kind of simplified the engineering and the casting of this, where you don't have to assemble all the individual bogies and road wheels and everything. It's all just one piece that glues right into the side. And then of course we've got our drive sprockets with the ends of our tracks molded on there. That's actually pretty nice. We've got our two commander figures. So we've got an American and British figure, radio, aerial, a few other things. I'm not sure what that piece is, but could come in handy. We'll see. We've got our M2 50 cal, which I don't think I'm actually going to use in this build. Our bow 30 cal. And then, of course, just more accessories. We've got the back plate, the gun travel lock, the hatch covers, idler rollers, exhaust. Got the gun mantlet pieces, and the actual 75 mil gun itself with the cast-in 30 cal. A few other just little accessory pieces. And then, of course, we've got the turret. The original, well, not the original, but the slightly larger 75 mil turret. I was looking at examples of Marine M4s in the Pacific, and you can see quite a few of them don't actually have the 50 cal mounted. So I think I'm going to skip that because I want to have a figure in the hatch, and I don't want to have the machine gun facing sideways. And I could put it where the radio aerial would go. And now that I think about it, maybe I might end up doing that just because it would be nice to have that extra firepower there. Or put it there where the little searchlight is meant to go. We'll figure that out. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. No need to decide things right now. So that's the actual plastic. And then, of course, we have the damage markers, the smoke markers with some extra bases in there. We have the stat card, as well as, oh, Cosmina, thank you so much for packaging this for us. We have the decal sheet, which I might use some of these numbers. I might just put a generic number on the turret. You know, and you've got your stats for bolt action. Wonder how these will change come 3rd edition. Should be interesting. All your options there. Woo. And then, of course, we have our build instructions. So, pretty simple to assemble. Options for your driver's hatch, open or closed, and all the other parts there, as well as your turret assembly. So, yeah. So that's pretty neat. There are a couple of things I mentioned that I need to modify in order to make this a little bit more accurate for a Pacific War Sherman, for a Marine Sherman. One of those is something that was, I don't want to say it was exclusive to Marine Shermans, but, you know, it was developed for the Marines, and that was a telephone on the back of the tank so that infantry commanders could speak with the tank crew. And it was literally just a little drop-down box, or a lid that the lid folded down, and they could access a phone to then talk to the tank commander. You can buy kits with that molded on, but I decided I could probably find something in my spares, so I found this, I think it's from Anvil Industries. There was a hand carrying this case, and I just kind of trimmed it up, and it fits. It'll go right there. Maybe slightly oversized, but actually not too bad. So just to replicate that that tank phone for the infantry. So that's pretty simple modification. I mean, that's one of the few things. A lot of them did have the big intake. I'm assuming intake or exhaust coming off the back, but I'm not going to bother to replicate that. And again, you can get kits like that. I think some of the Warlord resin ones have that with it as well. One of the next things that I'm going to do, which should be kind of fun, going to replicate some wooden fabrique armor. And I've just got some balsa strips. I've got a lot more than I'm actually going to need for this, that are just going to basically go along the side there and act as some extra armor. Probably hang down off the upper hull just a little bit. I would ideally like to be able to fit 5, but I think 3 is the most I'm going to fit unless I custom cut some strips, which I don't really want to do. And then I'm just going to take some strips of plastic card to just make little spacers, to kind of little standoffs that they would have mounted to. And then I can just, punch some little holes into this to represent the bolts or rivets that they use to hold it on. And do that for both sides. It'd be pretty easy. And to that point, what I've already done is I've already made a template. So I actually just set the hull down, traced around it with a pencil to get the actual shape of the hull. And then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these out so then I can cut these to the proper size. So I get these to the size that I want. And this is how I figured out I should be able to get about 3. And I want to have just a tiny little bit of space in between each board. I don't want them right up next to each other, but just a tiny little bit. That's why I might hang down off the bottom a little bit. I think that's a pretty easy thing to do, and you can see numerous pictures of various Shermans with the wooden plank armor on the side. So that'd be pretty easy to do. And definitely adds a little more flavor, a little more flair to it. And then The next thing that we're going to be doing is just adding some extra, again, more flavor and flair. So I actually have some stuff from Company B Models. You know, I've reviewed one of their model or two of theirs before. So I ordered a big bag of stowage pieces, and what I'm probably going to use is these 3 individual ones, because the rest in this package, and these are all cast in resin, it's just 3 large pieces of stowage. I mean, these would probably make for good objective markers. Probably not so great to try and cut apart just because there's only detail in certain areas. But these would make for some great objective markers or terrain piece for like a supply cache or supply depot or something. So, but I think I'm going to use these 3, maybe not even, because, you know, they take up a halfway decent, maybe just these 2 even, you know, take up a fairly decent amount of space here on the back of the tank, on that back deck. Because I also want to add in gas cans, so some jerry cans, again, Company B Models. And they've got a number of different accessories that you can get. So pack of 9 here, cut those off. You know, just have a stack of jerry cans back there. And then we've also got a set of stowage and bedrolls. Again, just like tarps and stuff. So we'll take a look at those. And these are all white metal, so fairly hefty. Probably don't need a huge, I mean, maybe just 1 or 2 of these little bedrolls. You can see there's quite the variety of different ones in here. You know, a small bedroll or 2. Just kind of help add some, again, just add a little extra flavor to it, you know, and then probably stack a rifle or a submachine gun or 2 on there as well. You know, obviously you have to glue them on there. They're not wanting to stay, but we've got quite a few options there to just add a little bit more to the tank. And then finally, Company B Models also makes a set of U.S. Marine Corps Tank Commander torsos. They also do like quarters, so just like the head popping out of the hatch. But I decided I wanted, you know, the full, or at least not the full, but the quarter. So there's 4 different torsos in here. You've got 2, oh, that is really close. That is about to break off. And that's the one I want to use. You've got 2 with M1 Thompsons, M1A1s. And then you have this guy who's actually already drawn his pistol and is holding it out. And then the 4th one, it's kind of tough to tell, but he's actually reaching to pull his sidearm. And then it comes with a couple of different head options. You got some that have the tanker helmet like this one, and then others with the regular M1 helmet with the helmet cover. So I think I'm definitely going to do it with the helmet cover. That fit in pretty nicely with the rest of my army. I've only kind of done a cursory test of how they fit, and I just did the one that I wanted to use. Doesn't quite fit, so it's going to take a little bit of modification. They're not quite tall enough to fit down in there. I mean, I don't know if this one would even really work all that well either. But that one fits, but that's not the one I want to use. And then guy reaching for his, yeah. But I think this is the one I want to use. So he'd be, you know, just a little bit of filing and stuff should get him to fit in there pretty well. That's the guy that I want to use. So I think that would definitely add, again, more character and more flavor to it, just to make it kind of fun and exciting. And also, you know, you have a little bit more of a modeling challenge. You know, not that it's going to be that difficult or anything, but it should be pretty fun to kind of modify and personalize the tank like that. So, yeah, so combination of Warlord, a little scratch building, and some Company B model stuff, and we should have a pretty nice looking Marine Sherman. Well, there you have it, folks. There is my M4 Sherman Pacific plan, idea, thing. So, obviously starting out with that excellent Warlord Games M4 Sherman kit, and then just adding a few extra details. We're scratch building the wooden plank armor for the side. We've got the added detail of the infantry phone at the back, as well as the extra stowage and jerry cans and the tank commander from Company B models. I think everything combined, as well as a more Pacific themed camo paint scheme, which partial camo, I guess, should definitely make for a pretty awesome Marine Sherman. I'm hoping at some point to be able to add a T12 gun motor carriage, because I think that would be really cool. Just different flavor, as well as, I think it'd be pretty cool for, if I were to do some early war Marines, like based around Marine Raiders or something, I think that would be pretty cool too. So, yeah. I hope folks like that. I really hope you'll follow along as this build progresses. Hopefully just over a course of a couple weeks, but obviously probably be spread out over... The actual build might only take a couple of weeks, and then the videos, of course, be spread out a little bit longer. But that's perfectly okay. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. If you want to get some more Warlord Games product and help support the channel, you can click the link down in the description to head to Warlord Games using my affiliate link and get any of their awesome stuff. You can also check Mediocre Modeling Studios out on Instagram and Facebook. Links are in the description as well. So again, as always, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. And until next time, may your paints be thin, your brushes be pointy, and your dice be hot.